Attention, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Imagine holding a piece of American history smaller than your thumb, but worth a fortune. Today, we're counting down the top 5 rarest and most valuable wheat pennies, each one packed with history, collectible intrigue, and stories that will blow your mind. Let's dive in. 1951 Wheat Penny 1-cent coin. The 1951 wheat penny is a remarkable example of mid-20th century American coinage. Minted during a post-World War II era, it represents a time when the United States was experiencing economic growth, suburban expansion, and a booming interest in coin collecting. The 1-cent coin, with its iconic wheat ears on the reverse, was a staple in American currency circulation from 1909 to 1958, and the 1951 issue is particularly prized by collectors for its combination of historical context, design finesse, and relative scarcity in higher grades. The obverse of the 1951 wheat penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. This design was notable for being the first widely circulated U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than allegorical figures. Lincoln's profile, with its finely detailed hair and facial contours, is a symbol of stability and leadership. Around the periphery, the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1951 anchor the design firmly in American numismatic tradition. Subtle variations in the strike, such as the sharpness of Lincoln's cheek or the prominence of his jawline, can significantly affect collector value. On the reverse, the wheat ears flank the 1-cent denomination and the inscription "United States of America." The design is elegant in its simplicity, balancing the classical elements of the wheat motif with the clean typography of the text. The reverse design is often examined by collectors for die cracks, doubling, or other mint errors, which can elevate a common penny into a high-value collectible. In terms of mintage, the 1951 wheat penny had an extensive output. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 682 million coins, while the Denver Mint struck over 270 million, and San Francisco added 180 million. Despite these large numbers, coins in uncirculated condition are surprisingly scarce today because many pennies were used heavily in everyday commerce and not preserved by collectors. This scarcity in high-grade specimens is one reason why the 1951 wheat penny commands respect in numismatic circles. Market value for the 1951 wheat penny varies widely depending on condition, mint mark, and error status. Circulated coins in average condition might fetch just a few cents to $1, while those in extremely fine condition can reach $10 to $20. Uncirculated coins, particularly those graded MS65 or higher, can sell for $50 to $100 or more. Key collectors often seek coins with full, well-centered strikes and original luster. Certain varieties, such as coins with double die obverse or reverse errors, are particularly sought after and can sell for several $100s at auction. Collectors are drawn to the 1951 wheat penny not only for its monetary value, but also for its historical significance. It represents a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning toward modern coinage production methods and highlights the artistry of early 20th century coin design. For beginners, this coin offers an accessible entry point into wheat penny collecting, while advanced collectors appreciate the nuances in minting, die variations, and preservation challenges. Errors and varieties in the 1951 wheat penny include double die obverse coins, where the date or lettering appears doubled due to a misalignment in the die preparation. These errors are rare but highly collectible. Another notable error is off-center strikes, which create a visually striking coin with partial design impressions. Coins exhibiting these anomalies are particularly valuable and often become the centerpiece of a collection. In short, the 1951 wheat penny 1-cent coin is a treasure of American numismatics. Its combination of historical significance, elegant design, widespread use, and scarcity in high-grade condition make it a must-have for collectors. From humble circulated pieces to rare error coins, the 1951 wheat penny tells a story of mid-century America, of the artistry of coin minting, and the enduring appeal of Lincoln's likeness. 1952 wheat penny 1-cent coin. The 1952 wheat penny struck in Philadelphia represents a fascinating moment in American coinage, coming near the end of the long-running wheat cent design that began in 1909 under President Theodore Roosevelt's push to beautify the nation's coinage. Designed by the Lithuanian-born sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB caused controversy when they first appeared prominently on the 1909 issue, the wheat cent by 1952 had already become a familiar and trusted symbol of everyday commerce. The obverse of the 1952 wheat penny features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "I in God we trust," curving along the rim. To the left is liberty, and to the right is the date 1952. Because this is the Philadelphia issue, there is no mint mark beneath the date, a detail that often confuses new collectors who expect to see a letter. During this era, Philadelphia coins typically bore no mint mark at all. The reverse carries the iconic twin wheat ears, framing the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America. At the top, in smaller letters, is E pluribus unum. The simplicity of this design is part of its enduring charm. The wheat stalks symbolize prosperity and agricultural strength, an especially powerful image in a nation that had just emerged from World War II and was entering the Korean War period in 1952. The country was experiencing economic growth, suburban expansion, and industrial confidence, and this coin circulated through grocery stores, diners, movie theaters, and post offices across America. In terms of composition, the 1952 wheat penny is struck in the standard bronze alloy used since 1909, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives the coin its rich reddish tone when freshly minted. Over time, exposure to air and handling causes the surface to darken, producing brown and red-brown varieties that collectors classify as RD, RB, or BN. That color designation has a significant impact on value, especially in higher grades. The mintage for the 1952 Philadelphia wheat penny was substantial, with over 186 million pieces struck. This high mintage means the coin is common in circulated grades. In worn condition, examples are typically valued at only a few cents above face value. However, condition is everything in numismatics. In uncirculated grades, particularly those certified as Mint State 65 red or higher by grading services like PCGS or NGC, the coin's value can climb significantly, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars for superbly preserved specimens with full red luster and minimal contact marks. One key area of collector interest lies in strike quality. Philadelphia strikes in the early 1950s were generally decent, but many coins show weak detail in Lincoln's hair and beard, as well as soft wheat lines on the reverse. Finding a sharply struck example with strong definition in the wheat kernels and bold lettering is more challenging than the mintage number alone would suggest. Collectors building high-grade registry sets compete fiercely for top population coins, driving prices upward for the finest examples. Error coins add another layer of excitement to the 1952 wheat penny. While there is no major, widely recognized double die variety like the famous 1955 double die obverse, minor double dies and repunched mint mark varieties do exist across the wheat cent series. For the 1952 Philadelphia issue, collectors search for subtle doubling in the date and lettering, as well as die cracks, die chips, and off-center strikes. A dramatic off-center strike or a broad strike error can command strong premiums, depending on visual appeal and degree of error. Even small die breaks, sometimes called cuds when they involve the rim, attract niche collectors who specialize in die states. Another point of interest is the quality of planchets. Occasionally, 1952 cents are found with lamination errors, where the metal splits or peels due to impurities in the alloy. These errors can create striking visual effects and are highly collectible when the damage clearly occurred during the minting process rather than after circulation. The market value for the 1952 wheat penny is highly grade dependent. In circulated grades from good to extremely fine, the coin typically trades between a few cents and perhaps $1. In about uncirculated condition with traces of mint luster, it may reach a few dollars. However, in Mint State 66 red or better, prices can escalate into the several $100 range, especially for coins with exceptional eye appeal. The difference between red and brown surfaces in the same numerical grade can mean a dramatic price gap, underscoring how important surface preservation is to serious collectors. Collector interest in the 1952 wheat penny remains strong for several reasons. First, it is part of the beloved wheat cent series, which many collectors attempt to complete from 1909 through 1958. Second, it represents the closing chapter of the classic wheat design, which would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Third, it is affordable enough in lower grades to serve as an entry point for new collectors, while still offering high-grade and error coin opportunities for advanced numismatists. Ultimately, the 1952 Philadelphia wheat penny may not be rare in the traditional sense, but it is a coin that rewards careful examination. In high grade, with full red color and strong strike, it becomes a small but powerful artifact of American history, bridging the agricultural symbolism of the early 20th century with the industrial might of post-war America. 1952 D wheat penny 1-cent coin. The 1952 D wheat penny, struck at the Denver Mint, carries its own distinct identity within the series. The small D mint mark beneath the date immediately distinguishes it from the Philadelphia issue. In 1952, the Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, producing coins to meet the demands of a growing population and expanding economy. The mintage of the 1952 D wheat penny was even higher than its Philadelphia counterpart, exceeding 746 million pieces. This enormous production run makes it one of the more common dates in the wheat cent series in circulated condition. However, high mintage does not necessarily translate to uniform quality, and the Denver issues of the early 1950s are known among collectors for certain striking characteristics. On the obverse, the design remains Victor David Brenner's familiar portrait of Lincoln. In God We Trust arcs above, Liberty sits to the left, and the date 1952 with the D mint mark below it appears to the right. The mint mark itself can be an area of close scrutiny. Collectors examine the shape, placement, and clarity of the D, as repunched mint marks are known throughout the wheat cent series. While the 1952 D is not famous for a major RPM variety, minor repunching and die deterioration around the mint mark are sometimes found. The reverse, with its twin wheat stalks, often shows softer detail on Denver strikes from this period. Many 1952 D cents exhibit weakly defined wheat lines and less crisp lettering compared to the sharpest Philadelphia coins. This makes fully struck examples particularly desirable in higher grades. Collectors often pay a premium for coins that show strong separation in the wheat kernels and bold definition in the lettering of 1 cent. In circulated grades, the 1952 D wheat penny is extremely common and typically worth only a modest premium above face value. However, as with the Philadelphia issue, condition rarity becomes the key factor. Because so many were released into circulation and used heavily in commerce, truly pristine mint state examples, especially with full red surfaces, are more difficult to find than the raw mintage suggests. In mint state 65 red condition, values can reach into the tens or low hundreds of dollars, depending on market demand. In even higher grades, such as MS66 or MS67 red, the price can escalate dramatically due to registry set competition. Top population examples, verified by major grading services, can command significant premiums because they represent the finest known survivors of a massive production run. Error collectors also find the 1952 D intriguing. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks appear with some frequency due to the sheer volume of coins struck. Lamination errors are not uncommon in early 1950s Denver cents, reflecting occasional alloy inconsistencies. A dramatic error with strong visual impact can sell for many times the value of a standard uncirculated example. One of the more subtle areas of interest is die state progression. Advanced collectors study late die state coins with heavy die flow lines, creating a slightly greasy or distorted appearance in the fields. These coins tell a story about the mint's production pressures, where dies were sometimes pushed to their limits before replacement. The 1952 D wheat penny also holds sentimental value for many collectors who began searching pocket change in the mid-20th century. For decades, these coins were readily found in circulation, making them a common gateway into the hobby. Today, they are increasingly pulled from circulation and stored in albums, rolls, and certified holders, gradually reducing the supply of high-grade raw examples. Market trends for the 1952 D generally follow the broader wheat cent market. Copper prices can influence the baseline value of circulated coins, but numismatic value is driven by grade, color, and eye appeal. A blazing red, sharply struck 1952 D with minimal contact marks can be a standout piece in a Lincoln cent collection. While it may not have the headline-grabbing fame of key dates like 1909 SVDB or 1914 D, the 1952 D represents the backbone of the series. 1955 Wheat Penny 1 cent coin. The 1955 wheat penny is arguably one of the most famous and instantly recognizable wheat pennies among collectors, primarily due to the legendary 1955 double die error. Minted in Philadelphia, where no mint mark appears, this penny carries immense historical and numismatic significance. The mid-1950s was a period of strong economic growth and modernization in the U.S., and the 1955 wheat penny reflects both the stability of the era and the artistry of the Lincoln design. On the obverse, the 1955 penny features the standard Lincoln portrait by Victor David Brenner. Collectors often examine the sharpness of Lincoln's facial features, the detail in his hair, and the integrity of the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date. What makes the 1955 penny especially famous is the double die variety, where the date and lettering appear noticeably doubled. This error occurred during the die preparation process and is one of the most sought-after and valuable error coins in American numismatics. The reverse retains the wheat ear design, a hallmark of the series from 1909 to 1958. The design is simple yet elegant, framing the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America. While not as historically dramatic as the double die obverse, the reverse can also exhibit die cracks, repunched mint marks, or other anomalies that increase collector value. Mintage numbers for 1955 are substantial. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 660 million pennies, while the Denver Mint struck roughly 279 million. However, the vast majority of these coins circulated extensively, meaning that well-preserved specimens are relatively rare. This is particularly true for the famous double die variety, which is considered one of the crown jewels of American era coins. Market value varies dramatically depending on condition and whether the coin is a double die variety. Common circulated 1955 pennies can be found for as little as 5 to 25 cents, while uncirculated coins without errors range from $10 to $50. The 1955 double die penny, however, can sell for thousands of dollars depending on grade, with high-grade examples sometimes exceeding $50,000 in auction settings. Other minor errors, such as off-center strikes or die cracks, also add value but typically command far less than the double die specimens. Collector interest in the 1955 wheat penny is intense, particularly among error coin enthusiasts. The 1955 double die penny has been widely publicized and is considered a must-have for serious collectors of U.S. coins. Even ordinary 1955 pennies in excellent condition are sought after for their aesthetic appeal and the opportunity they provide to complete a mid-century wheat penny collection. Errors and varieties in the 1955 wheat penny extend beyond the famous double die. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks all contribute to the coin's collectible potential. However, none of these anomalies have achieved the same fame or value as the double die, which remains a centerpiece of error coin lore. Collectors often search for subtle differences in die alignment and doubling on the date and lettering, making the 1955 penny a thrilling coin to study and acquire. In short, the 1955 wheat penny 1 cent coin is not just a piece of copper, it's a legend in the world of numismatics. From the ordinary circulated examples to the rare and valuable double die coins, it represents history, artistry, and the excitement of discovery for collectors. Owning a 1955 penny, whether for its beauty, rarity, or historical significance, is a tangible connection to mid-century America and the enduring legacy of Lincoln on U.S. coinage. 1957 D Wheat Penny 1 cent coin. The 1957 D wheat penny is a fascinating and historically significant coin in the wheat penny series, struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark below the date. By 1957, the United States was experiencing post-war economic prosperity, suburban expansion, and the early stages of the baby boom generation's influence on consumer culture. The 1-cent coin, small in denomination but large in circulation, played a critical role in everyday commerce, while also gaining recognition among collectors who were beginning to treat coins as historical artifacts rather than mere currency. The obverse of the 1957 D wheat penny features the timeless Lincoln portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that had been in continuous use for nearly 5 decades at this point. Lincoln's profile conveys a sense of dignity and resolve, with finely detailed hair, a prominent cheekbone, and a stern yet thoughtful expression. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date, 1957, to the right anchor the design and are carefully examined by collectors for signs of wear, doubling, or striking anomalies. Sharpness of the strike, the presence of full details on Lincoln's jawline, and the clarity of the lettering are all factors that influence a coin's grade and market value. The reverse design maintains the iconic wheat ears flanking the central denomination 1 cent, with United States of America arched above. The wheat design, simple yet elegant, symbolizes America's agricultural heritage and has become one of the most beloved motifs in U.S. coinage. Collectors often study the details of the wheat stalks for die cracks, polishing lines, or subtle doubling, as these minor anomalies can significantly increase a coin's value. The Denver Mint mark, small but crucial, distinguishes this coin from Philadelphia and San Francisco issues of the same year. Mintage numbers for the 1957 D wheat penny were substantial, with approximately 609 million coins produced. While this is a large number, the majority of these pennies circulated extensively, resulting in heavy wear over time. As a result, coins in uncirculated or near-mint condition are increasingly difficult to find, making them highly prized by collectors. The combination of relatively high mintage but low survival of pristine examples adds to the coin's collectible appeal. Market value for the 1957 D wheat penny varies depending on condition. Circulated coins in average condition generally sell for 10 to 50 cents, making them affordable for most collectors. Coins in extremely fine condition can range from $2 to $15, while uncirculated examples, particularly those graded MS-63 or higher, can command $30 to $80 or more. Coins exhibiting notable errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, are especially sought after and may sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. Errors and varieties in the 1957 D wheat penny are less dramatic than some of the earlier famous errors like the 1955 doubled die, but they remain highly collectible. Doubled die obverse coins, where the date or lettering appears doubled due to misalignment during die preparation, are particularly valued. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and minor die cracks also add to the coin's numismatic interest. Even subtle variations in strike quality or the depth of the wheat ears can elevate a coin's desirability among collectors who appreciate the finer details of minting. Collector interest in the 1957 D wheat penny is strong for several reasons. First, it represents one of the later issues in the wheat penny series, which was discontinued in 1958 in favor of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. This means that the 1957 D is part of the final chapter of an iconic design era. Second, the coin offers accessibility to both beginner and advanced collectors. Lower-grade coins are inexpensive and easy to acquire, while uncirculated examples and error coins provide a challenge for more experienced numismatists. Finally, its Denver origin adds variety to a collection, allowing enthusiasts to complete mint-specific sets. Historically, the 1957 D wheat penny reflects mid-century America. It was minted during a period of industrial growth, social optimism, and evolving consumer culture. The coin circulated widely, used in everything from vending machines to everyday purchases, and now serves as a tangible link to that era. Collectors value it not only for its monetary worth, but also for the story it tells about American history, craftsmanship, and the enduring appeal of Lincoln's portrait. In conclusion, The 1957 D-Wheat Penny 1-cent coin is a must-have for wheat penny collectors. Its combination of historical significance, classic design, accessibility in lower grades, and scarcity in higher grades make it an ideal coin to complete a mid-20th century collection. Whether sought as a piece of history, a collectible investment, or an example of fine mint craftsmanship, the 1957 D stands as a fitting capstone to the wheat penny era, representing the final years of one of America's most iconic coin designs. And there you have it, the top 5 rarest and most valuable wheat pennies. From the historic 1951 penny to the legendary 1955 double die, each of these coins tells a story of American history, artistry, and collectible intrigue. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collection, these wheat pennies are more than coins. They're pieces of history you can hold in your hand. Which of these rare pennies would you love to add to your collection? Comment below and let us know your favorite. And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coin guides and numismatic treasures. Happy collecting!